Welcome to Ivy and Ivy, Generations of Justice.
Hey everybody, welcome into an all-new episode of Ivy and Ivy, Generations of Justice with attorneys Sam and Vic Ivy of Ivy and Ivy Law. I'm your host, Mike Leon. With deep roots out in West Tennessee and decades of courtroom experience, Sam and Vic have been helping injury victims navigate life after serious accidents with strategy and compassion. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about trucking accidents. These are vastly different than car accidents. Sam and Vic are going to explain why in just a second, and also what people should know about if they've been hit by a commercial truck. Gents, it's good to see you guys as always. Sam, I'm going to start with you. What legally qualifies or what legally makes a trucking accident different from an ordinary car wreck?
Yes, sir. So good morning. Great to be on with you again. On these big rig accidents, 18-wheeler accidents, there's a wide array of federal regulations that may apply in these cases that make it different from a normal car wreck. I hate to say normal, but, with the commercial carriers, they have Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration guidelines that they have to go under. There's certain regulations about the weight of load that can be carried by a tractor, driver requirements with CDLs and different things like that, check-ins that they have to do at weigh stations coming over state lines, as well as pretty intricate driver qualifications, maintaining of records, just to name a few things. So all of these things apply in every case, and particular with a interstate motor carrier. And so we do an in-depth investigation to figure out what the facts are in each case and what regulation may have been violated and what federal law we may be able to sue under if it results in litigation to help get our clients the most money out of these cases. That's the main goal, is to get the victim compensation when they've been hit by a big commercial truck in this way.
Vic, let me piggyback on that and ask you, when a crash involves an 18-wheeler or one of these commercial vehicles, who can actually be held responsible?
Well, obviously, the driver of the big rig could be held responsible for that, Mike, and also the company that employs that driver or who the driver is working for would be responsible for that. Who owns the tractor that's pulling the trailer could be responsible. Also, we'll look at the trailer. In some situations, it might be a situation that's overloaded, or the tires may not be inflated properly, something along those lines. But generally speaking, we'll be looking at the driver of the big rig and also at the company that has employed that driver. Now, it may be a situation that might only not just be civilly liable, but they could be criminally liable as well if certain things occur, such as if he was a distracted driver or maybe under the influence of some intoxicant of some sort, or maybe had not logged properly and was, driving while sleepy or whatever that situation may be. But there could be a whole host of individuals responsible, and we research every one of those so that we can make our clients whole, because these accidents are usually catastrophic.
Yeah, they usually are. And Sam, I want to touch on something you just said earlier about the truck regulations. How do the federal and the state trucking regulations come into play in these cases? Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yes, sir. So in these cases, it's going to depend greatly, as you just said, on, is this an interstate motor vehicle carrier? That is it a big rig that travels across state lines, or is it one that remains within this state or another separate state? And that's going to define whether certain regulations apply in each case. Another twist is on these interstate carriers, a lot of times the driver and the company are both from different states. And so that's going to get you into diversity jurisdiction, where it's going to end up in federal court a lot of times. And those regulations are even more important to make sure that you bring the appropriate claim and do the appropriate discovery pursuant to those regulations to make your claim stick if you're in federal court, especially. So,
yeah, go ahead, Vic.
Mike, if I could add, when these cases are removed to federal court because of diversity of citizenship or because of the amount in controversy, that's usually our area that we excel in. Federal court is a place that Sam and I both have years and years of experience in. Of course, me as a former federal prosecutor, I've spent over 30 years in federal court, so that's a place that we really excel, and we can show that our expertise in that area.
Yeah. And Vic, let me stay on you for a second. You just mentioned federal prosecutors. So what kind of evidence in these cases is unique to these truck crashing investigations? Because I'm sure, you hear about the airplane crashes and you hear about the black box data and things like that. Are those type of things similar in these investigations?
They're somewhat similar, Mike. The big rigs will usually carry a dash cam, and those dash cameras pick up usually the entire episode that's occurred. Now, there is a black box on those trucks that will show, can give the speed at the time of the crash, how fast they were traveling at that moment, show various data as far as how long had been traveling at that speed, the braking accident that occurred, just various things that come from the black box. But the big evidence question in those crashes involves a dash camera, and it shows that. Now, people need to get in touch with us quickly on these 18-wheeler crashes because that evidence begins to get away, and we can get our experts on these cases quickly.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
One other thing to add on the black box data, Mike, is a lot of times, these 18-wheelers nowadays, they're like huge computers inside of the vehicle. The black box will, when we pull the information off of it, it'll come back with a large amount of numbers that sometimes can only be interpreted by a qualified engineer or other accident reconstructionist. So it's very important to get us involved early so that data can be preserved and interpreted to help prove liability on your case.
And Sam, I want to piggyback on something Vic just said about contacting an attorney and why that's crucial. How quickly would you advise someone to contact the attorney right after it happens, and explain why the time crunch? You mentioned about the evidence part, but why is the time crunch so critical?
Yes, sir. So as mentioned in a few other episodes as well, it's crucial in any case to contact us as soon as possible. Obviously, if you're in very bad medical shape, you want to get emergency help immediately. But as soon as you're able to discuss with us, we welcome the call because that's going to improve your position and preserving evidence for your case. The trucking companies have a wide array of resources that they use to get on these cases and investigate them very early, including usage of drones now. Sometimes they fly drones to the scene immediately while the person is possibly, in emergent medical treatment. And that stacks the cards against you. But once you get us involved, we know how to navigate that, get the evidence needed, and pursue your case, hopefully to success at the end of the case.
Vic, let me ask you, because Sam just kind of mentioned about the resources that they have, but what tends to happen when a trucking company's insurer gets involved early in the case?
Well, the trucking company will have adjusters or representatives from the insurance company that will contact victims in the case, and usually the victim there may be more than one occupant of the vehicle that was struck by the big rig. They will contact those people sometimes when they're in the hospital, or maybe they're at home recuperating, or even if it's a wrongful death type situation, they'll contact the family, and the family will be grieving, or if the person's in the hospital, they may be under the influence of some sort of, drugs as far as being treated. And so the statement that they give will not be as accurate as it should be. In other words, they don't have all their faculties about them, and they can't, give a complete statement. So, folks need to contact us as quickly as possible so we can prevent that.
Sam, let me go back to you about the injuries to victims. In a lot of these cases, we talked about the catastrophic nature of them. How do you guys help the clients handle the medical side, the financial side, especially while the case is still underway?
Yes, sir. So that can be very difficult, of course, when you're in a serious accident like this. You feel like there's so many things piling up on you as the victim of one of these cases. And one of the things, as you mentioned, is these exorbitant medical bills that will be piling up on you. You may get statements in the mail of large monetary amounts that you owe to a hospital or other provider. We can step in and help with those. A lot of times, what we're able to do is reach out to that provider, let them know that we're representing the victim in a personal injury case, or hopefully not a wrongful death case. And they will put those bills on hold a lot of times until we're able to get a resolution on the injury case and then address the bill out of that. So that helps, we find, get a lot of stress off of our clients as they're going through this recovery process, that they don't have to deal with talking to the medical providers. We handle that as a service of our representation to these victims.
And that's great to hear. As we land the plane on this episode, gents, Vic, I'll start with you, and Sam, you can chime in. What's your message to anyone that's been hurt in a collision with a commercial truck? Maybe they're unsure of what to do next.
Well, they need to contact us as soon as possible, because evidence begins to get away. Statements begin to be given. Maybe video might begin to start missing. There could be witnesses that we need to talk to as quickly as possible. So we start building the case block by block, putting this case together, Mike. And as soon as we can get on it, that preserves the evidence for us.
And just to add to that, Mike, I would say that also, when you consult us on a case, there's never a fee unless we're successful on your case. So there's no reason not to contact us early on. It helps your chances of prevailing and getting the money that you deserve from being in an unfortunate accident like this. And we're able to collect the evidence we need, as Dad said, to help you win the case by getting involved early on. Things change over time, so it's good to get involved early.
Usually, if there's a big rig accident, the injuries are going to be catastrophic, and it would just shatter the lives of those victims. And so you need to get us on early so that we can preserve the evidence for you and present your case as best possible.
Yeah. Jens, thank you for the time and insights explaining all this. We truly appreciate it, as always.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody out there for listening to this episode of Ivy and Ivy Generations of Justice. Look, if you or a loved one has been involved in a serious trucking accident anywhere in West Tennessee, do me a favor, visit ivyandivy.com to speak with Sam and Vic and the team. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review and comment, or share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. As always, I'm Mike Leon. We'll see everybody next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.